Hi everyone, it is February 2nd, 2012, and I found two very important articles pretty much narrowing down the timeline where Israel will decide to strike Iran. So before I told you that it'll probably be within the year because they're calculating that that's about the time Iran will be able to have the bomb if they choose to make one. So it seems that this article came out today. It says Panetta believes Israel will attack Iran this spring. So that's narrowing down the timeline a little bit. It says U.S. Secretary of Defense is concerned Israel will launch an attack before Iran enters the so-called immunity zone. Now, I didn't know what the immunity zone was until now. It says when military strikes won't bust Iran's nuclear facilities, Washington Post reports. And when I clicked on this, I found out what the immunity zone actually is. Now, I thought most of their nuclear facilities were already underground, but it seems by this article, a lot of them are not protected yet. It seems that it says United States Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta believes that Israel will attack Iran in April, May, or June. The Washington Post reported Thursday. According to the report written by paper's senior opinion writer David Ignatius, Panetta is concerned that Israel will launch an attack before Iran enters the so-called immunity zone, when its nuclear facility or facilities will be heavily fortified and a military strike will no longer succeed. So it seems by this article that their nuclear facilities are not heavily fortified yet. It says Ignatius does not quote Panetta in the article, but he is currently traveling with the Secretary of Defense in Brussels. According to the article, Israel might decide to strike before Iran completes the fortification, since afterward only America will be capable of stopping Iran militarily. It says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't want to leave the fate of Israel dependent on American action. Ignatius wrote, according to the report, Israel's strike against Iran's nuclear facilities could last 5 days, which would be followed by a United Nations brokered ceasefire. So that's the article I wanted to bring you. And there was another article I wanted to bring to people's attention, and that was from Haaretz. So you don't see these things on CNN or Fox News because they'll leave you in the dark. The only thing you'll see on them that's going to be the big headlines is going to be the Super Bowl, which, by the way, I believe we have to keep watch on. If there is going to be a false flag attack somewhere in the Gulf, it's a great time to do that. Military genius. Okay, this was the story I wanted, not this story. Here, this was the story I wanted. Defense Minister Barak, here. This was the story. Let me move this over. Ehud Barak, this is talking about. It says, Barak says, if Iran sanctions don't work, military action must be considered. And this was dated February 2nd, so this is also a very recent article. It says, Defense Minister says confronting a nuclear Iran would be much more dangerous and would cost many more lives than confronting the country today. And I just got a news thing, I don't know what that was. It says Defense Minister Ehud Barak said on Thursday that if sanctions on Iran's nuclear program do not prove effective, then military action against the Islamic Republic must be considered. Today, unlike in the past, there is widespread international belief that it is vital to prevent Iran from becoming nuclear, and that no option should be taken off the table, Barak said at the closing day of the Herzliya conference. It says, should sanctions fail to stop Iran's nuclear program, there will be a need to consider taking action. He noted that many analysts believe that confronting a nuclear Iran will be much more complicated and dangerous, and will cost many more lives than taking action today. Whoever says later could find that it is too late, he stressed. Barak added that Israel's challenge is to continue aiding the international community to work toward halting Iran's nuclear program without taking any option off the table. Earlier Thursday, Vice Prime Minister Moshe Ya'alon said that all of Iran's nuclear facilities were vulnerable to a military strike, adding that the specter of a nuclear Iran would be a nightmare to the free world. Ya'alon also indicated that an explosion which virtually destroyed an Iranian Revolutionary Guard missile base near Tehran late last year targeted a system that was preparing to produce a missile with a range of 10,000 kilometers, thus threatening the United States. So that's very interesting. So those are the two articles I wanted to bring you. And in my opinion, guys, I think the war has already begun in a way because, like I just said, they're doing things like assassinating these scientists. They're taking out these missile bases, and they're doing all sorts of things such as the Stuxnet virus. So they're kind of in a pseudo-war right now without firing any missiles, really. Anyway, guys, those are the two stories I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. And, I think everyone should pay very close attention to this because now it looks like we're narrowing down the timeline to possibly the next few months, if not earlier. Take it easy, people. Stay safe. Bye.